Do you believe it?
Yeah.
All is good with God. And that's actually what we're talking about today. But it's a journey to get to that place. And James, thank you so much for sharing those words so deeply and beautifully. But it's a journey for us as humans to get to that place where we can say, yeah, how are you? All is good with God. All is good. But you know what I listened to this week when I was walking around our complex and I saw someone new I didn't recognize. I said, well, hi, how are you? And he said, well, I'm very well, thank you. How are you? And I said, good. Well, my day wasn't going that well. And I said, good, because there's a part of us that knows, no matter what's going on, that life is inherently good. The timeless wisdom of Ernest Holmes tells us we're all on a journey of self-discovery, of spiritual awakening. And that spiritual awakening leads us to the infinite wisdom, the divine essence, and the unlimited possibilities that reside within us. But it's a big, long journey from that human mind that lives so often in the conditions of the world, right? So often in what's happening to us, instead of realizing the power we have to create what we want and design and shape our lives as we would really want them to be. It's a long journey from there to here. The topic today is the call of the soul. How many of you can feel that call of the soul? Griselda, you did a nice job on the plants, but thank you for your beautiful reading today and sharing with us what that means. That divine spark of wisdom that's within us. It's there, always. It's nothing new. We've always had it. Every human being forever and ever and ever has had it, and we will take it into all our, wherever, whatever we believe, our experiences to one plane to the next. We take that soul with us because that's a part of us that is our life force energy. Plato said, what, thousands of years ago? I don't know how many, Jim, but thousands of years ago, that the soul animates the body and gives it life. So often, especially with today's teachers, we talk about aliveness, being alive with life. Well, that's when we listen to the call of our soul that's guiding us to what is right and true. And also when we listen to that place inside of us, we find worthiness. And how many of us live in a place of self-doubt and wondering and not knowing if we're good enough or in comparison and yada, yada, yada. When if we would just listen, we would know that we are worthy right where we are. I shared last week a quote by Anthony DeMello, and I just hope I remember it. Let's see. There's only one reason why you're not experiencing bliss right now. It's because you're thinking of what you don't have instead of what you do, what we do have. The call of the soul, that divine spark, that little inner urge, we call it the divine urge, it speaks in a whisper usually. Sometimes it speaks louder, but mostly it speaks in a whisper. And what Griselda mentioned is so true. This world is noisy. It's always something's going on, repetition, on and on and on. And we can get hooked in to listening to the noisiness. When we're not listening to our soul's call, when we're not taking time, probably several times on a daily basis, to make it a practice to listen to that message within, that we get hooked in to the problems of the world. We get hooked into fear, ego, depression, unhappiness. Do you want me to go on? And they build little cobwebs in our mind that become I remember Deepak Chopra, one of the first workshops I listened to or went to, he was talking about the grooves in the brain, that come from habitual thinking, when we think the same things over and over and over again. And these things I mentioned before, the fear, they disempower us. And we keep repeating them. And that's not our job. Our job is to not keep repeating the things that are happening, going on, the things we did wrong, the things we don't like, the things we wish we would have done. That's not what we're here to do. The whole soul, the call of the soul, wants us to find the wisdom in all our experiences, not just some, but all of them, that we can make and focus on making more of tomorrow, of this moment, where we can be making more instead of keep that monkey mind, that chatter going on and on. But it's hard. Has anybody noticed that? It's a little hard to get out of the, oh, God, do you know what happened to me? Can I tell you once again and again and again and again? Because I just need to hear it. No, it's because we get these grooves in our mind and we start, it's like a record that's skipping over. And do they even have records anymore? I don't think so. But yeah, I'm sure some people do. But anyway, over and over. And we have to get into our power, claim that power within, and take time to listen to the whisper. We must still our minds and open our hearts and put our fear and worry in its place. So that's what we're doing on our prayer wall today. Because what can put fear and worry in its place is if we can know something greater. If we can know, we know there's feelings come on a spectrum, thoughts come on a spectrum from low to high and everything in the middle, where we can move our energy, our vibration, our understanding to a higher place, where we can lift up those thoughts, those feelings, and make sense of things. It doesn't mean they're not there. It doesn't mean they're not true. Often we need to get those things out of our system. We need to have a friend, a counselor, a practitioner, someone to talk to, so we can get it out of our system and make room for the newness to happen in our life. You mentioned also, Griselda, that this call of the soul speaks in a whisper. It's that still, small voice from within. And so we must have the understanding that we have the power of conscious choice every moment. Every moment we're making choices. They're either those same repeated choices over and over again, or we can make a new choice. And sometimes in order to make a new choice, we need to be broken open. We wonder, why do bad things happen? Well, if God is always good, there's always something more in that. Always something more. I remember, Spirit has spoken to me many times, but the time it spoke the very loudest when I was broken open the worst. When we lost our daughter, Tara, all of our friends knew how much Tara loved angels. And they started giving us gifts of angels and angel books and angel sayings and things. And I couldn't believe how much better it made us feel to know, we're not alone. There's something more. Our daughter's safe, all of that. And I decided to open an angel store. I didn't know one diddly anything squat about business. I was a teacher. I've always been a teacher. That's what I do. But I got this urge because I wanted to share that same feeling. I know that a lot of people in this world hurt. And I wanted to share some uplifting feelings. And I'll tell you, that came to me like, it wasn't a whisper. It was a, this is it. This is time to do something different. Make sense of all of this. That's the wisdom that came from the pain. Do something to make sense of the problem. And I'll tell you, I went like this. And I just said, I need help. And help came. Help came. Now, trust me, not all the things that come are good. People will make a perception of what you're doing. And I remember I lost friends because this is really hard to say, but how can you make money off the loss of your daughter? And they told me that. And I was like, oh my gosh, you certainly don't know us very well. We just want to share the good. Yes, when it started getting prosperous, and that was a nice benefit, but it wasn't the reason. But there's always something good when you listen to the call of the soul. And I'll tell you what, when you know what you're doing is from that place, the outside comments, the criticism, the critiques don't really matter. You can hear them, they can hurt, but you can unplug them pretty fast because you know you are doing what you're supposed to be doing right now. So if we want to get to that place, it takes focus, discipline, and deliberate choice to still ourselves down, to find the place of stillness and quiet, to go beyond our rational thought, to go beyond that. Ernest Holmes said this, and I thought this was a cool thing. Where did he say it? I'll find it here. He said it, I can't, it wasn't Ernest, but see, I'm equating Rumi with Ernest now. Rumi, my 13th century mystic boyfriend, said, "The soul has been given its own ears to hear things the mind does not understand. Our rational mind will only take us so far." He also said, "The wound is where the light comes through, and that's where the goodness of God comes in us through us, that wisdom." So if we take that place and go in the stillness and the quiet, that's where we can touch that infinite wisdom, the possibilities that want to express through us. We must be willing to listen to our intuition. How many of you are really good at listening to your intuition, those little nudges, those hunches, that little inspiration? How many are good at that? A few here, a few. Okay, you're getting in more courageous. Good, good, good. We have to learn to listen to that because that is the still small voice within. When we listen to that wisdom, amazing things happen, and follow it. I'm going to share a few quotes that, I thought about, well, where does the call of the soul take us? Well, it takes us beyond our fears and our limitations, and it takes us to a place of transcendence. Transcendence. You know how we talk about the field, Rumi's field, out beyond right doing and wrong doing, there is a field, that field where we don't judge, we're all the same. Well, it takes us there. But he wasn't the only one that said that. I'm going to share a few quotes that remind us it doesn't matter what your religion, what your faith, what your culture, it doesn't matter. That place within us knows we are all the same in the heart, in the soul. We are the same. Now, we're individuals, but we're all the same. We're made in the image and likeness of God. Love will take us towards the miracle. And I missed the wonderful beach party. Kirk and I missed it Friday night because we were at the UCI Medical Center for 7 hours and 45 minutes. And we were with our daughter-in-law, and she was having a procedure. And, the doctor at first told all the things, all the problems there could be. And they were scary. They were really scary. And we sat there and listened, and then we went out, and we thought it was a 2-hour procedure, about an hour and 45-minute procedure. They thought we left, but then he was delayed, and the procedure took longer, and things took longer, and ended up being all this time. And there's fear, of course. Whenever you hear those things, there's fear. And we said, you know what? I knew I trusted the doctor. I knew I trusted him. I knew him. I knew I trusted him. And I knew I trusted my daughter-in-law for her power to whatever the situation, whatever it was, that it would be okay, that she would handle it, and that we would handle it with her, and we would make it okay. I knew all that. I had faith in all that. My faith was stronger than my fear, but you still get a little shaky. So we went up, and she was still out on the table, and we went into a room and sat, and Kirk and I were just quiet then. We were quiet. I rubbed her shoulder a bit, and we were just quiet and waited for the doctor to come in, and he looks at us, and he said, "It was a miracle. The best possible outcome of anything," which means Brooke can pick up her little daughter, her little 1-year-old daughter. She can take care of things, but we were ready. But that miracle happened. It was a beautiful thing. We missed the party, but Karen, you were nice enough to send me some pictures so I could feel like I was there. Thank you, because I know it was great. But the miracle happens. God's working in so many ways. So let me read you these quotes. It brings us together. The call of the soul reminds us that we're all connected to all of creation. When we have the courage to cross the road and look in one another's eyes, we can see that we are all children of the same God and members of the same human family. That's from a French Catholic priest, Henri Nouwen. The Mayans say, "I am another one of yourself." I'm another one of yourself. I'm just like you. In this manner, the Mayans stress that every life form reflects every other life form, and that all originate from the same original source. Thich Nhat Hanh, the wonderful Buddhist monk who just passed this year, said, I support you and you support me. I support you and you support me. I am in this world to offer you peace, and you are here to bring me joy. We are here because we belong to each other. And you can tell if you're really listening to that call of your soul, because you'll no longer feel disconnected from life, from each other, from the good we might have to repackage and find the good and dig deep enough, but it's there. It's a process. As Ernest Holmes said, we're on a journey. So it's a daily practice. Now today I asked you if you would think of one thing. We have those cobwebs in our mind, those cobwebs of fear and insecurity and unhappiness and fear, whatever it is. What is the one thing that's going to be the neutralizer, the uplifter for the things that are going on in your mind and in your heart right now? I know there's a lot of goodness in the world, and I know there's a lot of suffering and pain, two ways of learning and growing and becoming. So I want you to picture in your mind, as you're all free and open and available, that we are here and just feel the energy of the people that are next to you, that we're all on this beautiful journey together, supporting, loving each other. How good it is. I just say thank you for being on the journey with me. I know we all have the courage to grow, to become, and to put out a hand for one another. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you.